Warning. The following program contains content about sports and the sports world. This show is an assembly of college kids who enjoy sports and like yapping about said sports. Claims and views described and promoted do not reflect those of Central Michigan University, the Central Michigan University Broadcast and Cinematic Arts Program, or Moore Hall Television. If you should have any comments, questions, or concerns, reach out to the show via email, cardguyshow@gmail.com. Please subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you feel so inclined. Perhaps leave a comment down below. And please enjoy the following program.
You are listening to WMHW HD1 and HD2 Mount Pleasant, Mountain 91.5, a service of Central Michigan University's School of Broadcast and Cinematic Arts. Live from the Dr. Jerry Henderson Radio Complex, it's time for Card Guys. And now, here's your host, Anthony Schulte.
Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be listening to this program. Thank you, Michael, for the intro as always, and welcome to Card Guys Season 2, Episode 10, double digits already. Coming up today, we discuss the NBA All-Star Weekend, plus what should we be expecting with the second half of the NBA season just on the horizon. Stay tuned for some discussion on the Detroit Red Wings' hunt for a playoff appearance. Joining me as always, my man, Ryan Donnelly.
So I didn't receive any emails from the last episode, so we're going to try a different approach. If you want to add me on Snapchat, it's Ryan.Donnelly22.
Okay, all right. Now
first we did email. Right. Now we're doing your Snapchat handle.
Next, I'm gonna do
my
fax machine.
Your fax machine. All right.
Your fax number.
All right. Right next to me, Mr. Michael Rosenkranz.
Yo. I will say this: on Saturday, whoever said "miss it," that Western fan that we all heard in the barn on Broomfield, whoever said "miss it," zip it.
All right, so we're testing out our phone system here today. We have a special announcement at the end of the show, so stay tuned. We're testing out our phone system. Let's see if we could get Izaak Haffenden on the show. Isaac, you're on 91.5 The Mountain. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
We'll try that one more time. Isaac.
Can you hear me?
I can hear him through the headphones.
You can hear him through the headphones. That is fun. All right, what is Isaac saying?
He said, I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. Can I have the headset, please?
This is a cluster. This is a little cluster. So
this is us somewhat troubleshooting here on the show.
We have a special guest, so stay tuned.
Can you plug this back in, Isaac or Ryan?
Yes, I would if you give me the cord.
We apologize, folks, as we're trying to figure this out here.
Hang in there, baby.
Hang in there, baby.
I was going to say, this is where that graphic comes in again.
All right. So, I wonder why you can't hear us over the speaker. That is something to talk about. But Isaac, you can hear us, correct?
Yep.
All right, beautiful. So, Isaac, how are we doing today?
We're doing good. A little tired, but now that it seems to be working well on the show with the audio, I'm doing better.
All right. So, our friends right here in studio can't hear for some reason. While they talk, obviously, I'm going to try and get the sound over the speakers here in studio. Until then, though, NBA All-Star Weekend has come and gone, but there sure is a lot that went down this weekend. I'm going to start off with a little rant, because the NBA All-Star Game, what has happened to it? It's gone from a spectacle of sorts where the NBA comes together and the NBA celebrates the superstars of the league. It has now turned into Nikola Jokic and Luka Doncic, two of the biggest stars in the league, seemingly not giving a bleep about what's going on, not caring about the All-Star Game in general. There was no defense played last night, obvious by the score of 211 to 186. They got rid of the Elam ending. They went back to East versus West, which was fun, but I don't understand why we're so allergic to defense in the All-Star Game. I get not wanting to get injured. I get you're in the middle of a season. I get you don't want to risk injury. But I feel like you're putting yourself more at injury if you're playing at this pace compared to the pace you usually play at. And with this no defense approach, you're getting a very boring product. I was bored last night. I was bored. I found myself trying to stay awake. I found myself wanting to do other things and watch this game. And that's quite sad. Because I looked forward to this event. It's been on my calendar since it was announced. It always is. And I was bored. And I think a lot of NBA fans can agree. Look, I'm one of the biggest NBA fans there is. I watch almost every single NBA game, whether it's highlights or full games. I have League Pass Premium. I'm a big NBA guy. And usually All-Star Weekend is just a great culmination of the sport. It's fun. You've got everybody there. But what we watched last night was a disgrace to not only the sport, but also the league by not giving a bleep. That's my rant about the All-Star. We'll talk about All-Star a little bit coming up in the future. All-Star Saturday night. That's our first topic. All-Star Saturday night. It was a fun event. There were multiple different little contests throughout, as always. I want to get your guys' opinions. I'll go through the winners here, and then we'll get to that. The winners of the Skills Challenge was Team Pacers, which consisted of Tyrese Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. The three-point contest champion, Damian Lillard, repeating as champion. Sabrina versus Steph, which I think was an amazing addition to the show. Mm-hmm. I think they need to bring it back in some form. Steph won, but Sabrina showed out. Impressive stuff. I was on my feet cheering. Yeah. That was fun stuff. And then the dunk contest champion, Mac McClung, repeating as champion. So, gentlemen, what are your reactions to the All-Star Saturday night and what we saw?
It was kind of boring, I'd say. I'd say just Skills Challenge was boring. Scotty Barnes doing a behind-the-back half-court shot was kind of wild, I'd have to say. But three-point contest was nothing special. Dunk contest was very boring. Outside of Mac McClung, it was just very boring. I have a rant about the judges of the All-Star game. The judges were horrible on Saturday night.
Terrible.
Mac McClung had the best dunk of the night. His first dunk where he jumped over a guy, got the ball, let go of the ball, caught the ball, and did a reverse. That's a 48 or a 49 in my book, and they gave him a 46. But the dunk after, Jaylen Brown's Dominique Wilkins tribute, which you can see in an in-game dunk, got a 49.50. What? And the Jaylen Brown glove dunk, what was that? And why did the court turn it? I like the LED court.
The LED court was amazing.
If you hate on the LED court.
That was big, dude.
If you hate on the LED court, I don't know. I liked it, but
it was great. It was so fun.
I was a little confused on why he did a glove dunk, but then I looked last night and realized, okay, yeah, it's because he's showing off that he can use his left hand.
Yep.
That was creative. I thought he was doing like a Michael Jackson tribute because he had the glove on one hand, and I was like, oh, how does he and Michael Jackson have any relation? But it was just boring. Dunking over Kai Cenat and streaming, and the court turning into the Celtics for some reason, and the dunk contest. I'm sorry I had to say this, but the past few years the dunk contest has stunk. It's the All-Star Saturday night has not been fun since 2020, when it was Derrick Jones Jr. and Aaron Gordon going after it. That was fun. That was the last time I had fun during NBA All-Star Saturday night. I think it's time to get rid of the dunk contest and instead replace it with a King of the Court or a horse tournament. That would be fun. The three-point contest can stay because that's a staple. Sabrina versus Steph, I think it's going to be like what they do with the match every year, and like just rotate in. So like they'll have like Alana Deladome or Asia Wilson versus like Kevin Durant or something like that. But that's my little rant on All-Star Saturday night. And then are we talking All-Star Sunday?
Yes, that'll be our next topic.
Okay, then I'll save that for later.
All-Star Saturday skills competition. I thought it was kind of a sweet little full circle moment when Team Pacers got there. I mean, Tyrese has been a name that's been just red hot in the NBA, and that showed again here in the All-Star weekend. And I want to stress something like really a quote that I found from Mathurin. He said, I'm just trying to find it here. You know what? I lost it. And I'm trying to find the quote, and I just don't know where it is. It was something about how Mathurin was now undefeated in All-Star play. And the point I'm trying to make is, he said that I just don't see the point of coming out here and not trying to win.
Yeah.
You want to be competitive in the All-Star game. Yes, you can. It's a step back from the regular season, and you get some of the all-time greats in the game here. But at the same time, you want to make this competitive. What I saw last night, such a sleeper fest.
Yeah.
Such a sleeper fest.
With All-Star Saturday night, however, were you still bored with it?
I wouldn't say All-Star Saturday night. Some of those competitions I like. The skill competition I thought was pretty fun, and it was really cool to see Team Pacers get there and kind of bring one home for Indiana and the house that Peyton Manning built.
Yeah, that was fun. It was held in Lucas Oil Stadium.
You know what they should do instead of the Skills Challenge? The Skills Challenge itself is fun, but remember like way back in the day, like 10 years ago or like 10, 20 years ago when they had like the Skills Challenge, but it was an NBA player, a WNBA player, and an NBA legend, and they do like a layup, free throw, three-pointer, and then they'd all shoot half-court shots. They should bring that back. I really like that.
Isaac, what are you feeling about this here?
Well, obviously, it was really cool seeing Team Pacers win it on the skill challenge. The skills challenge was it was something to behold. Obviously, Scotty Barnes behind the back shot gave us some good laughs, but you can tell the competitive nature of the entire All-Star weekend is absolutely cooked. But it was seeing Damian Lillard defend his title in the three-point contest, beating Halliburton, Young, Malik Beasley, Brunson, Markkanen, and Mitchell. Oh, and Karl Anthony Towns, too. So that was cool. Seeing Sabrina and Curry go at it in the three-point contest, that was pretty cool. I mean, there was some good moments, some good little things, but I just think overall, just the competitive nature of this All-Star weekend is it's just not the same anymore. The fact that I miss seeing Blake Griffin dunk over the front of a Kia car in the dunk contest is kind of sad. Like, I miss it. It doesn't hit the same when I was younger. I mean, I think that's just part of growing up, too. Stuff just doesn't hit the same, but the All-Star weekend, the vibes just feel so much different now, and I don't even really know what happened. I think it's a combination of players. There's no incentive, and they just don't want to put their bodies on the line for an All-Star game when there's plenty of basketball left to play.
Yeah,
that's how I see it. But
it
was a fun weekend. Don't get me wrong. The dunk contest is always fun. I thought it was pretty cool seeing Jaylen Brown in it. I mean, even though he didn't win, but just the concept of having a star player in the dunk contest again is definitely a step in the right direction for the dunk contest itself. I don't think we should eliminate the dunk contest. I don't think we should eliminate the three-point contest. I don't think we should eliminate the skills challenge. I think every competition we have right now is perfect But we just need the competitive nature just back in these guys. Like, look at Victor Wembanyama, for example. He said he'd do a dunk contest. He said he'd do a three-point contest. Like, that's what we need in the NBA. We need stars who are willing to put themselves in these positions on All-Star weekends to give the fans something to enjoy and try to get some victories in these contests. I mean, we'll see what happens in the future, but right now it's competitive nature of these contests is just looking pretty weak.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Yeah, I can agree with you with it not feeling the same. And I think I could give a little explanation as to why. What nowadays, just in life, feels the same as it did 10 years ago? Everything's been modernized. The NBA is different from what it was, and the players are so hyper-focused on getting to the playoffs healthy. Ring culture. They all want that ring. You're a failure of an NBA player without a ring, according to social media and just the culture on the NBA right now. You want to be healthy for the playoffs, especially with this new 65-game rule, too. You don't want to get injured in the All-Star game, and now all of a sudden you're out of incentives and you're out of getting awards. That's one thing that all these players are thinking about here. And when you see players not give a bleep, as I keep alluding to. They don't care. Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic being the two main components of that. Nobody else wants to do anything. Nobody wants to get hurt. And look, I get it. Nobody wants to get hurt. I understand the notion of not wanting to get hurt. But also, you got to care. You got to care. You got to make it a show. These folks are spending hard-earned cash. These people are taking the time out of their night to watch you play. I couldn't imagine going to an All-Star game and being satisfied with the product nowadays. If I went to that game yesterday, I would be terribly, terribly disappointed.
Agreed.
Even more than I am right now.
Tickets were like $1,000.
Yeah.
To sit like up here. Mm-hmm. I would definitely ask for a refund. That game was boring.
I mean, I don't think a refund would come out of it, but I definitely think the notion of wanting your money back after that performance is duly noted. So the All-Star game itself, that was last night. We've been kind of talking about how boring it's been. I mean, 211 points. It's the most points ever by a single team in All-Star game history.
And in NBA history.
Yes, technically All-Star game doesn't count as NBA. But, yes, NBA history as well. The next highest number was 196 by the 2017 Western All-Stars. That number completely obliterated. Karl Anthony Towns, Big Purr with a 50-piece for the Western Conference.
Big Purr putting up some big points.
Oh, yeah, he was. And great shooting splits, too. Mm-hmm. Eastern Conference did take this one home with 211 points, which is surprising. You look at the Western Conference All-Stars, and everybody's talking about, this isn't fair, this is a super team. Look at all these legends. Look at all these NBA players. And then look at the Eastern Conference. There's a bunch of first years, and these names aren't as big. They proved y'all wrong. Mm-hmm. They came out here. Damian Lillard dropped 39. Tyrese Halliburton, 32 and 10. You had Jaylen Brown, 36. You had some great performances on the Eastern Conference. They all played together. The shots were falling. And you saw just a great showing of offense. I think this game was good if you love offense. I wanted to see more competitiveness. I wanted to see a competitive nature out of this game. But if you like offense and you like seeing the ball go in the bucket, you were having a blast last night. Mm-hmm. But in terms of competitiveness, it was a 30-point blowout in the second quarter. Like, that's where it's like, that's why I like the Elam ending, because there was drama. 2020 All-Star game. That was one of the best All-Star games because of the drama. Kyle Lowry is taking charges in the All-Star game. You know, there's drama. There are players that are caring. I think it's the first time and only time players have cared in the last 10 years about the All-Star game. Mm-hmm. But regardless, I think it was a great game for offense.
If you like offense, that game was definitely for you, but I'm a man of defense, and even like I want to be like a basketball coach for like the youth in the future, and I need to look at defense because defense is such a hard thing to coach for any sport. It was not great, to say the least, because you got guys like Jaylen Brown, Tyrese Halliburton, and Damian Lillard all dropping 30+, and you got Cat dropping 50 points. That's nuts. In an all-star game, I watched the first few minutes of it. Halliburton starting off 5 for 5 from 3. That was cool to see. Very cool. In his hometown, Indiana.
Yep.
Or in his home team of the Indiana Pacers. Indiana is basketball country.
It is.
As y'all know, but
I wish I lived there, man. They love basketball down there.
they love basketball in Indiana. However, basketball country, I assumed, is disappointed from the product last night. I was disappointed. It was just a show. You had the best players in the NBA. You expect it to be competitive. That's why I'm looking forward to the 2024 Paris Olympics, because that will be competitive. But when you look at the All-Star game, when nobody gives a bleep, and you just have guys doing windmill dunks on each other, it's cool, but you want to see that competitive nature out of it. That Elam ending, like you mentioned, when they did it for the past 4 or 5 years, that was fun. That's when the All-Star game was fun. And then you bring back the East-West format, which is still cool, but it doesn't feel the same. The only modern change I liked to the All-Star game was the Elam ending. I didn't like when they picked teams. I didn't really like it that much because it felt because back in recess I got picked last. And I kind of felt left out.
James Harden.
Yeah.
It was
Rudy Gobert, but just overall, I like that they brought back East-West. I like when they brought back East-West. I didn't like how they got rid of the Elam ending because that was entertaining. Cleveland 2022.
As many negatives as there was this weekend, it was still a fun weekend. It was still a positive weekend.
It was. I was going crazy for the Steph and Sabrina 3-point contest.
That was so good. I think they need to add
Sabrina
some more stuff like that.
Dude.
They need to add some more stuff like that, like a 1v1 challenge,
Sabrina
maybe.
Ionescu.
Horse. They gotta
Sabrina
bring back Horse.
Ionescu is solid.
She is. I think we need to see more of in the future too, incorporating the WNBA and the NBA with each other's All-Star nights. I think a lot more people watch WNBA All-Star Saturday night in all those contests if they had NBA players competing, like in the 3-point contest. And also with the NBA, Caitlin Clark, get her in a challenge, like against Damian Lillard or something.
Yeah.
Send her to the Pistons.
Absolutely.
Yeah, send her to the Pistons. Yeah, we need anything. Sabrina Ionescu is the best shooter on the Pistons, by the way, if she's on the team.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
wouldn't mind her on the team just as a shooter.
Absolutely.
But All-Star Weekend, it was fun. Next year, it will be in the Bay Area for 2025, so that will be interesting. It's not going to be cold there at the All-Star Game anymore. It's going to be nice and warm.
It's going to be in California for back-to-back years. And I'll say one more thing. The NBA, like Isaac mentioned, the NBA All-Star Weekend hasn't hit the same since you were a kid. And that's what I've noticed. If you're like a diehard NBA fan, obviously you look forward to this weekend. I'm a diehard NBA fan, but it didn't hit the same. It hasn't hit the same, and I realized that last year in Salt Lake. I could miss an All-Star game. It was just it was a great weekend. It was very fun, but there were some moments where I was like Luka Doncic botching a self alley-oop and Jokic not giving a hoot. It was disappointing.
I mean, Jokic doesn't really care about
hard growing up,
hooping in general.
Yeah,
It's a side gig.
It is a side gig to him. He does love his horses. Nikola Jokic does. All right.
Yes, he does.
We are going to move on from All-Star to the second half of the season. So I thought this would be a fun little segment to do here, seeming as if there's going to be not many times to talk about the NBA. Mm-hmm. This is kind of the one weekend the NBA can shine in the sports world. So let's talk second half of the season. What are you guys expecting? We'll start with Isaac here. What are you guys expecting from the second half of the NBA season? Who are you expecting to make the playoffs, standings-wise, player-wise? Just what are your expectations heading into April in the playoffs?
My expectations is
definitely it's going to be
no.
It's obviously going forward for the rest of the season. You're going to be able to tell which teams are legit and which teams are not. Obviously, in the East, for example, there's some very fun, exciting young teams like the Pacers, for example, the Magic. This is the time of the year where we can tell if these teams are if they're playoff ready, playoff made, or if it was fluky. This is the time of the year that tells you who the good teams are and who the good teams aren't. So obviously, I think in the first half of the season we can tell who some of the good teams are, like the Celtics, the Cavs, who are on an amazing run, and the Bucks. Oh, I will say this: I'm very excited for the rest of the season with Doc Rivers at the helm for the Bucks. It's going to be interesting to see what Doc does and what he doesn't. It's going to be great. And for the West, however, you look at the Northwest Division, the Timberwolves at 39-16, the Thunder 37-17, and the Nuggets at 36-19. This is a tight race in the West. And you got some teams coming, getting hot at the right time, like the Suns. They're heating up at the right time. The Mavericks are heating up, and the Lakers are starting to heat up too. The Warriors. I think the Warriors are winning some games lately. They're one game above 500. So
yeah, they went on a little run. I think it was a 6-1
run.
Like
the teams like the Lakers and the Warriors that people in the preseason expected to be good might just be starting to figure it out at the right time. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Warriors, the Lakers, the Suns, Mavericks. You got a lot of teams competing for playoff spots, obviously. This is going to tell who's legit and who's not. So I'm excited. I'm going to sit back and enjoy the rest of the NBA season because, quite frankly, it's going to be gone before you know it.
Yeah,
over halfway over.
NBA is always the second half of the season flies by, and you got a lot of exciting games. You got a lot of exciting games to look forward to. The stakes are higher. They start to give a hoot a little bit more, as Ryan would say. My expectations with the NBA season, I'm expecting the Nuggets to figure it out. Nuggets right now, they've been at the top of the standings, but it feels like everybody's kind of like, oh, the Timberwolves are the shiny new toy, the Thunder are the shiny new toy. What about the champs? They can go back to back.
They're going to figure it out.
Oh yeah, for sure they're going to figure it out.
Not to.
And Jokic is the best player in basketball. He's the most complete player in basketball. And I think Luka's making a run for the money. I think Luka should be in the MVP discussions. I think Luka should be the MVP. But I think the Nuggets are going to figure it out. And also with the Mavericks, just great additions in P.J. Washington and Daniel Gafford. I think that's really going to help them in the future. Not only that, but in the Eastern Conference, Boston, I think they're fake. I'm going to say it right here, right now.
Wow,
I think Boston's fake. I think Boston, they got a great starting lineup, and I think that'll take them some places in the regular season. When it comes to a 7-game series, that's going to get adjusted so quick by the opposition. You can only have such a good starting lineup until your depth starts to come into question. Now, they did trade for Xavier Tillman, which is a great addition off their bench. But you need more than 2 guys off your bench. They have Derek White, and they have Derek White, Al Horford, or Tillman off their bench. They have to start one of them. They can move around their starting lineup, and then they have 2 of those 3 off the bench. And that's it. You got Peyton Pritchard playing minutes. You got Hauser playing minutes. I think Hauser's still on that team.
Yeah,
you got Cornette playing. No, that's not going to win you a championship. You need depth. This is a league where instead of 4 superstars, which is what the Celtics have right now, you need 2 superstars in depth. The Nuggets taught you that last year, and here we go with the Celtics going against that grain, trading for Drew Holiday, trading for Kristaps Porzingis, which they needed a big. Don't get me wrong, but you need depth. I'd rather have depth than Kristaps Porzingis on my team. Me personally. I'd rather have 2 bench guys that can come off the bench than Kristaps Porzingis. He's a great player. Do not get me wrong. He's an all-star caliber player. He's been phenomenal this season in adjusting to what the Celtics are doing. But you need depth. You need those players. Now, maybe this is a casual take and they have depth and I'm going to get proven wrong. Maybe. Who knows? But I think the Celtics are fake. And also, Chuck on NBA and TNT, guaranteed that the Celtics would win the championship. So I am against the Celtics now because of that. But other than that, I think the Pistons, if we're just going to toss out a prediction here, we're not going to finish in last place. I think the Wizards are. I think also in the play-in, I think the Heat make the play-in, right? They get to a play-in, and they start to turn it on again. And Jimmy Butler's going to get going again. I think that's also something. But I'm just looking forward to exciting games, exciting basketball. Just being able to... Go ahead.
I want to say there's one team in the East that I really want people to keep an eye out for. The New York Knicks. They obviously added our man Bojan at the deadline.
And Burks.
So they're making moves, and they're acquiring depth. This Knicks team is acquiring depth pieces, and they have Brunson, Randall, obviously OG. They traded RJ for OG, great depth piece.
Yes. They
got Bojan. Just I don't know like their entire roster off the back of my head, but they have some talented depth. Obviously DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. I think he's hurt, but
Mitchell Robinson is hurt.
They're looking pretty good. They're deep, and they've been playing some good basketball. So I think this Knicks team, I think the Knicks have a legit chance to go to the NBA Finals out of the East.
They do, and I like the Knicks as well. The Knicks are a fun team. I think I attribute them not to the same team, but the same structure as the 04 Pistons, where you don't have a true superstar top 10 player, which you think you would need, but they have just a solid star in Jalen Brunson. They have a reliable piece in Julius Randle. And you traded for depth. You got rid of players that you weren't using, and you got players that you're going to use. And I think the Knicks, that's a great point, Isaac. I think the Knicks are a sleeper team. I do like that team. They're fun to watch, too. That's a fun team to watch. Hey, that's a team on League Pass, which I'll toss on every now and then.
Yeah, I think what I'm expecting from the second half of this NBA season, things are no doubt going to ramp up. This is what should have happened, though, last night at the All-Star Game. People showing competitiveness. Now, as we ramp up towards the playoffs, people are going to start to give a hoot again.
Mm-hmm.
Give a hoot's going to become a trademark for this
it's
episode.
Yeah.
Potential Card Guys merch piece. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? But I think the level of competitiveness is going to ramp up quite a bit. And I just wish at the All-Star Game people would care. Now in the second half of the season, people are going to care. They're going to want to start winning games. Pistons got a tough start coming back. They got the Pacers coming up on Thursday.
Which I hate to interrupt you, but I do want to bring up. During the Rising Stars game, which we just completely skipped over Rising Stars for some reason, for the folks that didn't watch, Rising Stars was entertaining as all you know what. Mm-hmm. It's Wemby's team, the favorite Pau Gasol's team of youngsters. The G Leaguers beat them. The G Leaguers beat Wemby and friends, which was just exciting. And then Jaden Ivey and Benedict Mathurin got into it. And they started talking some trash. And you know what? It's funny because Benedict says you can't guard me even an All-Star. Let's talk when the games matter, buddy. Thursday. Benedict versus Ivy. I hope Benedict starts just so it could be Benedict versus Ivy. I cannot wait for that. I want Ivy to drop 30. Drop 30, Jaden. You see me here? 30. Give Cade 10 assists. 30 points from Ivy. I need Ivy to show up. I need Ivy to be like, you know what? You're going to talk you know what about me? All right. You're going to talk you know what to my face? All right. We'll see you Thursday. We'll see you Thursday in your crib too. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up because Ivy versus Mathurin's gonna be fun on Thursday.
It will be fun on Thursday. Pistons got a tough schedule coming out of the All-Star break. Pacers Thursday, Magic Saturday.
I will be in attendance for the Magic game.
Same here.
Me too.
And then Monday they have the Knicks. Just the first three games already. Just looking at them, those are going to be tough. Those are going to be tough games.
Eastern Conference schedule.
Yeah, I feel like it's been up and down with the scheduling with the Pistons. You have games that they should win. Keyword should.
Should.
Throwback to our 29-game mishap that we
28.
28.
It was 28. I don't want to give it any more games than we need to. That was so bad.
That was bad.
How did it get to 28 games? Like, we're not 2-26 bad.
Crazy.
No way we're that bad. If you guys remember, that's a Kate Cunningham quote.
Yes. I'm looking forward to the second half of the NBA season. Particularly some of these teams leading the conferences going forward. It'll be interesting to see what the Celtics do because they don't have a lot of depth. And with teams like Denver, if they potentially play them in the playoffs, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
You think Boston could be a Killian Hayes sweepstake perchance?
Probably.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Ooh, that is actually interesting because, I mean...
They need a point guard off the bench, and Killian Hayes is still out there.
There he is.
That's unfortunate, but still, he's out there.
Sweet siren song of Killian Hayes on your team. Come on, man.
Yeah, Killian Hayes on your... I mean, he's... As a playmaker and defender off the bench, I can see it. And by the way, folks on YouTube, if you see us like scrambling because we start to talk, I'm the only one with access to hearing Izaak right now. These two are completely blind from hearing our good buddy who's usually across the way. So right now we're trying to figure things out. We have a special guest. We'll bring that up in a minute. Special guest on Wednesday that will be joining us via telephone, and we're going to have many more guests throughout the season. It's going to be fun.
I hope you're on the edge of your seats.
Oh, yes. We're trying to figure things out. We're trying to get things good to go and working here. But until then, this is the communication that we're going to have to be doing behind the scenes. If you see us here, like, interrupting ourselves or like, like, this is why, because we can only hear Izaak through these right here. That hurt my ear. All right. Continue.
Okay. Izaak said that the Knicks are going to be a sleeper team. I actually think they're going to fall off.
Really?
I really think so because they have no defense. You lost Quentin Grimes.
They didn't play Quentin Grimes to begin with. I mean, they have OG. But Burks and Boyan, the two big guys that you brought in, gives you no defense. They're really bad at that.
They're really bad at defense, and you lost all defense in that Pistons trade. Quentin Grimes, who didn't play a lot, is still a really good defensive guard. Evan Fournier, don't play him a lot, still a really good defensive guard. He gets you a couple steals a night. I don't know, who's the other guys that we got in the trade?
We got Malachi Flynn. Archidiakono.
Okay, Malachi Flynn. I forgot about Flynn. My apologies. But again,
you have a PC of Flynn.
I didn't buy him.
Oh. I thought you... Okay.
I did not get my Malachi Flynn PC, but Malachi Flynn is also a very good defender. You bring in those guys, you ship them off to Detroit who needs defense. You bring in two aging vet shooters. You need vets. Good. Can they play defense? No. And then Mitchell Robinson's hurt. That doesn't help your case at all. You still got Julius Randle, big guy down there. You got Taj Gibson, I think.
Yes. No, I mean, he's on a 10-day. So,
well, I mean, they keep throwing 10 days at him, like throwing a treat to a dog. But
yeah, that's true. I mean, they lost Mitchell Robinson for a good while, so I mean, that's a big defensive presence that they're missing.
I think the Knicks could be a sleeper. It just depends on how long Mitchell Robinson is out for. I don't know how long he'll be out for, but the Knicks, I think, are going to fall off because they have no defense, especially losing guys like Grimes and Fournier.
Oh, he's off for the rest of the season.
Oh,
he's done.
Yeah,
he's done.
Yeah, I think the Knicks, they'll make the playoffs. I don't think they'll make the play-in, but I think they're going to fall off a little bit, and it's because they have no defense, and they got a very tough schedule. The Pacers, I think, are going to take that 4th seed. Halliburton's been playing phenomenal. I think Siakam has gotten into Rick Carlisle's system. Miles Turner's been playing very well, and Benedict Mathurin.
The Pacers are scary, man.
They have a scarily good offense.
They're scary.
Like, too scary.
I didn't understand the Buddy Hield trade.
No,
I didn't understand that.
I get it.
Why do you understand that?
Give more room for defense. He's a very, like, Siakam is a good, like, replacement when it comes to defense for that Pacers team, which they need to be balanced at that. They're more like offense, defense. They need to be up here. They need to be in the middle, which I think they need to, which it'll take them some time. Siakam just got to the Pacers. I think with this break, it took him, I think he's going to get the time to get used to his teammates, which is going to be good because if he can connect with guys like Halliburton, Mathurin, and like Miles Turner, this team's going to be scary good in the future. And then taking a look at the Pistons, like Anthony mentioned, I don't think they're going to be last in the East. I think the Wizards, who are the most unserious team in the NBA, by the way.
Yeah.
I think the Pistons will. I think they found their groove with these new guys, with Fontecchio and Brown and Fournier and all these other guys. And then you're going to get back Quentin Grimes from injury, and you're going to get Malachi Flynn. That's going to help a ton, especially on defense, which this team lacks.
Yeah.
This team's going to be very good. The Pistons are going to be, I think, they got a very tough schedule. They don't have a lot of, gimme games. They got San Antonio at the end of the year. That's about it. I don't think you play Washington.
No, we played all of our Washington games.
There's no more, there's no more easy games for the Pistons.
I feel like with the Pistons, though, we look at these easy games and we lose them because we are like, oh, this will be easy. We'll finally get a win. And then the Spurs happen at home.
You got March 29th against the Wizards, so not all of them.
Oh,
I got one more. Yay!
So maybe one more against the Wizards.
Is it
then
home
you
or
play.
away?
It is away.
Okay, that's because we beat them away. We
And
beat
then
them at their own.
and then
dome.
San Antonio at the end of the year, it's at their place as well.
Can we cap off the year on a W?
I think so.
I feel like, we're gonna lose the rest of our games except for the Wizards game. And then this game, right at the end of the year, the final game of the season, will be to decide if we have tied with the worst record in league history or not.
Oh, goodness.
That'd be great. And looking at the West, I didn't get to the West. I'll make it quick. Timberwolves, Timber Puppies, I thought were going to be a big fall-off team. No. They're the best team in the NBA. No,
Really? That's a claim.
I think they're the best team in the NBA. Oklahoma City, they're set for the future. They got their vet. They got Hayward.
They need a big.
They do need a big. Daniel Gafford would have been perfect.
Or PJ.
I think Gafford would have fit that role very nicely in Oklahoma City. But they got Hayward, which is still a very nice aging vet that ages like fine wine off your bench. The Clippers, they are the model team in the NBA. I think so.
I think they're the best team in the NBA.
I think they are what an NBA team should model off. You got your vets, and then you got depth. You got Amir Coffey. You got Norman Powell. You got Russell Westbrook.
Don't forget Plum Dog Millionaire.
You got Plum Dog Millionaire. You got Daniel Tice. You got all these guys coming off your bench.
They have a good bench, yeah.
They got a very good bench.
Terrence Mann. Don't forget Terrence Mann.
Terrence Mann, he starts, though.
He sometimes comes off the bench. It depends. Because you have Russ off the bench. You have Terrence Mann off the bench sometimes.
You got Terrence Mann. You got Harden, Kawhi, PG, and then Ivac Zubac in your starting lineup. This Clippers team is very good, and they're my sleeper team to make the NBA Finals.
I think taking a look just in terms of the West, I mean, the Western Conference, it's all really, really, really close. I really like what the Thunder's been doing. A lot, especially even with the performance from the All-Star game with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I think it's going to be tough in the West to decide who's really going to go forward, but I wholeheartedly agree about that Clippers team. They are a scary team, another scary team. I think that they have a lot of potential to make the playoffs as well. It'll be really curious because, in my mind, with that bench, does their depth match something like Denver? I feel like it does.
I feel like yes.
I feel like it does. I think it just ultimately comes down to that point, who wants it more.
Yeah, I think a Western Conference Finals of, and this just depends on seeding. Clippers, Nuggets, battle to the deaths. It would be.
I would love to see that.
That would be great. And the top of this conference, like you were mentioning, it's hard to kind of see through. The top of this conference is just they're all the same. Mm-hmm. I mean, not all the same record wise. Because when you look at it, they were all tied for first at one point as we closed out the first half of the season. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to predict with the Western Conference.
A team that I'm so disappointed that's underperforming this year, and I was expecting them to make huge leaps this year. Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
Sacramento is the 8th seed in the West. The Beam team.
They still got a good record. It's just the West is tough.
The West has got really, really tough this year.
So I'm not surprised.
Say that again, Isaac.
I'm not surprised Sacramento fell off. I seriously think before the season started, I honestly thought Sacramento would kind of fall off. And they have. Not
That's
entirely,
fair.
But I'm not surprised by the result of their season.
What did he say?
Oh, he was talking about how he's not surprised about Sacramento falling off.
Okay. I thought they'd take a step back, but still be one of the best offenses in the league. Mm-hmm. And they signed a 3-year contract with like the European Steph Curry. I thought he'd be a very good addition off the bench. I have not really seen a lot from him this year. I saw a lot from preseason. I think he's going to be like a Mios Teodosic, like rookie, quote unquote, but like 30 years old and then just doesn't even play anymore.
A Facundo Campazzo type of guy.
Yeah. But I'm just so disappointed in Sacramento. I loved them last year. They were the most fun team in the NBA last year. I'm so actually I'm really sad talking about them because like they kept this team together. Like nothing changed except for adding like him. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but I'm just so sad that they're in the 8th seed and they might be knocked out of the playoffs or at worst be in the play-in like where the Warriors are.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how this, as my keyboard decides not to work. Nothing's typing. So while we wait for that to figure out how to load, we're gonna move on to some NHL, some Detroit Red Wings for you folks on this fine Monday. The Red Wings are coming off just an impressive victory against the Flames, 5-0 right there. Thank you, Michael. Look at that. Yep, 5-0.
There we go. 5-0. Sure. James Reimer, what a game for him.
Yes.
38 on 38.
Yes. All right, there we go. Hey, it's working. There we go. The keyboard decided to work, folks. It's early. Even for the computer, it's early. So what I wanted to bring up here, we're approaching the end of the NHL season. It's just like NBA. We're approaching the end of the season, and this is when the standings start to get spicy. Because you've got the Red Wings at 62 points, right? Right behind them, I want to say this is the right one. I'm going to look at the playoff
Right
picture.
behind them is Buffalo
Yep.
at 24 and 26, then Montreal, and then
There we go.
Ottawa.
Here we go. All right. There we are. All right, this is what I want to look for right here.
But none of those teams in our division, none of the bottom 3 teams are giving us any threat, so... right behind us in the wild card race is the Devils.
That's what I was about to bring up.
The Devils for the rest of the year.
The
Islanders.
I think right now, because I'm looking at the wild card race, and we're at 62 points, right? Tampa Bay's at 65. Mm-hmm. New Jersey's right behind us at 60. Mm-hmm. They're right behind us. They came up quick. This is what we discussed before the All-Star break. This is not what we wanted to see on the second half of the season. We did not want to see one of these teams come back and the Red Wings struggle. The Red Wings have struggled. They've turned it around a little bit. They're bouncing back off a little rough stretch. They're on a little rough stretch, but they bounced back well. The Islanders are right behind the Devils at 58 points. The Capitals are right behind them at 56. The Penguins at 55. So I think the Penguins are a little far away from us, but still, the Devils are right there for that last wild card spot. Right there. So that's something to look out for, especially as we approach the end of the season, if we lose these close games, if we lose games even in blowout, if we just lose games in general, or we don't even get a point, at least get to overtime, right? At least salvage a point is what I'm saying. Because, look, you don't want New Jersey to catch up to you, and all of a sudden you're playing from behind to end the season when you'd rather be playing from the driver's seat instead of backseat driving.
And it doesn't help that we have probably the hardest schedule in the NHL.
Yeah.
Our next easy game is next Sunday against Chicago. And then
Isaac said we have the 9th easiest remaining schedule, which is a little tidbit right there.
Okay. It's nothing on Isaac. It's just this is not easy at all.
I'm looking at these games. I'm like, this
Nashville is going to. I think Nashville would be a very easy game. New York is not that. This is hard.
And just think,
my God.
Later today we have the Kraken.
5 of the last 6 games are against teams worse than us.
Yeah.
Kraken, Blues,
They're
Blackhawks,
still good teams,
Capitals,
though.
Islanders. We play the Avalanche on Thursday. That should be an interesting game.
They're
The
still
Avalanche
good
have been
teams.
struggling lately, and all the Red Wings got to do going forward is just consistently beat the teams they're supposed to beat. I know the Red Wings kind of sucked against the who do they play? Oh, the Canucks.
Yeah, we split against the Canucks recently. We beat them at home, and they beat us at home.
The Oilers. Those are 2 cup contenders, which you're not going to obviously win those games. Just beating the Canucks once is fine, I guess. But consistently beat these teams you're supposed to beat, like the Flames, the Kraken, the Blues, Blackhawks. Like, beat those teams salvage out of the teams that you're supposed to beat, and then you can afford to drop these games to the good teams.
Well, I'm seeing right here, we were just talking about the wild card race. We have a game, it's a little homestand here. Capitals, Islanders, 2 straight games. Those are 2 important games when it comes to the standings. We don't want to give them any points. We want to take those points. And I think those would be 2, as we approach the end of February here, 2 very important games on the schedule, these 2 right here. Because if, say, hypothetically, worst case scenario, we drop both of these games, bad spot. Mm-hmm. Bad spot. We don't want that happening. But
I think it doesn't help that probably our easiest game in the schedule next Sunday against the Blackhawks. Blackhawks is coming off a back-to-back against St. Louis, who gave us a fight the last time we play them. For sure. It was an overtime win. Still, very tough game. St. Louis gave us a run for...
Go ahead, Isaac.
The last time we played St. Louis was we won 6-4 in our regulation on the 12th.
Yes, we did. We did beat them 6-4 in our last game. Go ahead, Ryan.
Again, it doesn't help that we're playing off a back-to-back. And then you got Washington on Tuesday, then New York, then the Panthers, who... Don't get me started about the Panthers game. The last time we played Carolina. Or, not Carolina. The Panthers. It was a win. But still, we shouldn't have won that game. It was awful goaltending. And we shouldn't have gotten the win.
Go ahead, Isaac.
Are you talking about the game on December 17th where we won 3-2?
Yeah.
That was a good game. Panthers lead the division right now, with Bruins sitting in second. So
yeah.
It just doesn't help that our easiest game of the schedule is on a back-to-back. That's all I'm going to say. We got Colorado twice in this schedule. This is a gauntlet, folks. We got New York still. We got Buffalo a lot. Then we got the Canadiens back-to-back, who I think are going to make a huge jump towards the end of the year. It's going to be tough, but I think we could do it. We just got to rest Lyon, like we did on Saturday, where we rested Lyon and we put in Reimer. He was 38 for 38. He's a great backup goaltender. Play him more, but still keep him as a backup. Make Lyon our starter. I hope Ville Husso jumps off a bridge.
Well, I think Lyon's getting the start today, was what I heard this morning.
Good.
Lyon will get the start today against the Kraken. This schedule has been a gauntlet. I don't know where the tidbit of the 9th easiest schedule came from. Nothing on Izaak, but I wholeheartly disagree with that take. This schedule just has been difficult for the Red Wings. And you're right, Anthony. Now that Jersey's right behind us in the wild card standing, can't afford to lose all these games.
Yeah, you need to salvage as many points as you can.
And when we were talking last time about the Wings, we had like a clear wild card spot. Like nobody was sneaking up on us.
Yeah.
Now look at us.
Yep.
We're 2 games ahead of a wild card.
I mean, that's
spot.
what happens when you lose. Senators, Oilers, and Canucks. I mean, you lose 3 of your last 4, 2 of your last 3 since the All-Star break. We're coming off cold, but I mean, hey, we came off the break a little cold, but hopefully this 5-0 win against the Flames can spark something. Maybe set a little flame to the team.
I see what you did there. Very, very nice. The thing about the Kraken series is this. Kraken, I feel like, is just like Ottawa. They have our number.
Yeah.
They've had our number for a while. And, yeah, this 5-0 shutout needs to get something going for the Red Wings. Avalanche is going to be another tough game because Nathan McKinnon's on a tear. St. Louis, I think you can beat St. Louis. Now, I'm going to be there at CMU night that afternoon. I think you can beat St. Louis. Blackhawks, Connor Bedard is back.
Yep.
So he will be somebody that you'll have to watch out for. Blackhawks have been struggling, but you just can't really sleep on anybody, especially in the second half of this NHL season after the All-Star break. And the Red Wings need to put some games together.
Why are we playing at 3:30 today? Is there a reason why we're on at 3:30 on a Monday?
That's a really good question.
Maybe is the time ahead in Seattle?
No, they're starting at 12:30 over there in Seattle.
President's Day, maybe?
Oh, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. But
Could be something to do with President's Day, but yeah, Seattle, it's 12:30 Pacific time would be their face-off time.
I'll name some teams that I feel like will be wins. I think Chicago will be a win. I could say St. Louis is a win, for sure. I could actually see Vegas being a win. We can sweep them this year, the reigning Stanley Cup champions. We play Buffalo 3 times. I think we'll win at least 1 or 2. There's no way we sweep in the second half of the NHL season. We played the Yotes twice. I think they'll both be wins. We haven't played Arizona yet, which is weird, but it's weird that we're playing towards the end of the year. Columbus, I think, will be a very easy game. Nashville, I think that Nashville game over Christmas break was game of the year for the Wings. It was electric. And if you were there, I know a lot of people that were at that game. You guys were very lucky. That was a fun game to watch. Carolina, I think, will be a win. And then I think we play the Canadiens on a stretch the last 2 games of the year on a back-to-back. I think we'll win the game at home. But then again, it's sports. The outcomes are not what happens in your head, or it could be. But again, this is a gauntlet.
Yeah.
There's 10 or 12 winnable games. And if we win at least 12 of them, that's 24 points. If we win 10 games, that's 20 points. And if we go into overtime, we still get the point. Yep. We need the points. I will be happy if we win or go to overtime with Seattle. Seattle is a dangerous team. Mm-hmm. As a 3rd or 4th year team in the NHL, as a brand new baby boy team, they are scary good. I don't know what it is with expansion teams in the NHL just coming off like really hot towards the start of their like franchise, but Seattle is a very tough team to play. And if we go into overtime, I will be ecstatic today.
To cap off the show, it was announced that the Red Wings and the Blue Jackets will play the Stadium Series Winter Classic at Ohio Stadium.
Ooh.
So Red Wings, Blue Jackets, that'll happen in 2025. That'll be fun. Next season, I'm pretty sure. So
yes, next season.
That's gonna be a lot of fun. The Red Wings getting some attention out there and playing at a rival's stomping grounds, Ohio State. So that's gonna be fun for sure. Well, that's all we have for today's show, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Card Guys, Season 2, Episode 10, double digits. Wow.
That's crazy.
Crazy. We're already at double digits.
Are we about to announce it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Here we go.
On 91.5 The Mountain, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in Wednesday as we bring on a very special guest. He's the voice of the Detroit Lions, the sports director at Fox 2. Dan Miller will be coming on the show. Yes. Make sure to tune in, folks. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be live at 8 a.m., 91.5 The Mountain, or 1 p.m. on YouTube. Make sure you tune in. It's going to be fun. Our first guest of the season. That'll be over the phone. That's not a regular like Izaak. Thank you, Izaak, for being cooperative today. For my good buddies, Ryan Donnelly, Michael Rosenkranz, and over the phone, Izaak Haffenden, I'm Anthony Schulte saying, so long, everybody.
Love you, Mom and Dad. Grandma, I'll be home Sunday if you want to see me.